Hello and welcome back. This is our review of Shang-Chi, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, the newest installment of the MCU. What'd you guys think?
I enjoyed it. It was good. I
feel like that's the reaction for every MCU.
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, I could live without it.
Yeah. That's what you said about the last one.
Yeah.
Black Widow.
I don't know. I mean,
I can understand that viewpoint.
I was with it because it felt like a new original origin story.
Right.
When it was like martial arts and it was not CGI fest.
Yeah.
But of course, for me, it like stumbled towards the end of Act 2 because it had to get to that CGI fest, that Marvel cookie cutter, giant fucking world-ending Avenger level threat bullshit that, like it's an origin story. You don't have to add that. But
yeah. I was going to say it felt kind of fresh for me, like in the beginning with all the martial arts.
Definitely.
Because I remember growing up just watching all that Filipino dub Chinese shows I would watch in the mornings. And just seeing that on the big screen, I was like, whoa, it looks different than, most of the actions we've seen in MCU.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then that third act hit, and I'm like, it was kind of overwhelming, with all the CGI and all that.
And the thing is like, before the third act happened, like the last part, it was good CGI. But before that, it was like shit CGI. Like it looks terrible to me.
I didn't actually find any times that I thought it was bad.
Like when the bus jumped the hill, that just looks so corny to me.
Really?
And then when in the beginning in the forest, when I think it's when the what was it? Whatever you're driving, Mercedes Hummer falls off the cliff. I thought that looked super cheesy as well.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool sequence, I thought, actually, just how he flew out of that. But I understand it's not like realistic.
Right.
Yeah. No, I just thought this CGI was bad at that point in time, and I'm like, they must be building up for something here. They must be saving their money for something.
Right.
And then two
Something
giant ass
good.
dragons.
Right.
Yeah, that's what after that fight, I leaned over to Matt in the theater. And I was like, "That was the most anime fucking thing I've ever seen."
It was dope. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was pretty cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's really is just truly unfortunate that like the MCU is forced into the box
Mm-hmm.
from the get go.
Right.
I don't really even get like the sense of like trying to elevate heroes to like like you saying like the Avenger, like this, those levels.
Right.
Like, why not leave the hero kind of like small time, and then when you bring him into the bigger one, it's like, oh fuck, like this small time hero has never like is encountering something completely new and has to adjust now. I don't know, but.
I mean, it was definitely like the origin of that. I feel like he still is kind of a small time hero at the end of this movie.
I think so.
He's figuring out what the rings are, whatever, why he has the power.
Right.
Another thing, it reminded me of Black Panther, the way like they were building the world that Shang-Chi and his mom's side of the family lived in. This camouflaged area that they go through, this portal. I mean, I know in Black Panther it's that, invisible bubble shield or whatever the fuck. But
magical invisible world.
Yeah,
right.
That they go to, and then, they have all this advanced technology, and it just felt Black Panther-esque, and
Yeah, a little bit.
But that's just
I thought like you said, Patricia, the choreography of all the fights in this movie were the best, probably in any MCU fight.
Definitely.
The bus fight scene was pretty. I thought that was my best scene in the movie, probably.
For me,
I love
one,
bus fight scenes.
Yeah, the choreography, like the geography of the bus, is like really important for that
Right.
scene too. Like, because exactly where he is, or like what he's going. He chops the bus in half, and now he has to deal with that.
going
for the
like
rest of the
from
fight.
front to back. Yeah, gets
Yeah.
chopped in
Yeah.
half. Uses the little bus signal. Like,
Right, got Aquafina driving it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, at least they're like using everything.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
In terms of bus fight sequences, it was my second favorite out of all the ones. The one in Nobody.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
okay, I haven't
that
seen
one was badass. And then Safe is number 3 with Jason Statham. But
I gotta get my bus fight list going. I thought the scaffolding fight was pretty, like, just on that level too.
Yeah, it was.
I was like getting like Rush Hour flashbacks
Right.
to it. I was like, okay, this is like some Jackie Chan cool shit going on.
And I was on board with all that stuff. Like, that was fun to watch. And it felt like, oh, wow, this isn't like a normal Marvel movie. But I was always waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
I thought the music really added something to this movie
Right.
too.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first times in any MCU movie where I felt like a distinct like style for the character. Although I will say it did kind of fade away towards the later acts.
Yeah.
You lost the magic.
Yeah.
Of that
There
music
was a
too.
song sung by Simu Liu called
Really?
Hot Soup.
And was it in it?
I think it was in it, but yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I just know because on Twitter, and I'm a simp for Simu. So
I did like Simu. That's the first time I've seen him.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think he held his own as like the lead.
Mm-hmm.
So.
He's so funny in Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
I really liked the dad, actually. He was probably one of my favorite.
Tony?
Him and Ben
Yeah.
Kingsley were my
Yes.
one of my favorite characters, I think.
Yeah, Ben
he's
Kingsley.
so
I didn't even think he was in this. So
Right.
it was
Yeah.
kind
I
of
was kind of
fun
surprised,
to
yeah.
He
keep
killed the
with him.
comedy.
Yeah, he was definitely.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel like the Marvel comedy that they try to shoehorn and everything,
Right.
you know, nowadays. But
Yeah, definitely felt a little off the wall.
yeah,
with
it
the-
it worked for me at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug the little intro of Wong. In in the Fight
Yeah.
Club scene.
He's got
like-
some weird stuff going on. He's just like on his own journey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's gonna end up being like those Loki characters who are just like kind of string
Hopping
people
around.
together and like hop
I was
around.
I was
and show up
wondering,
places.
was that Abomination?
It was Abomination.
Okay, well,
That was like a total redesign. For
Yeah,
that
it was.
character.
Right.
I'm down with it. Like,
I mean, I
like
guess,
he's
but-
like amphibian.
I don't know. I
looking.
like
Yeah.
the old
Feature.
Abomination look.
You like the old one?
Yeah, with Edward Norton and him.
Grotesque, like-
That was my favorite Marvel movie for a long time.
Yeah.
Was Edward Norton's Hulk. But
I
you know,
honestly, yeah, I liked Edward Norton, the design of the Hulk.
right?
Yeah.
It was.
veiny and gross looking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I used to color my arms green because of the Hulk.
Wow.
You know, I fucking love the Hulk. And then I saw Spider-Man and it changed my life. So
Oh yeah.
That'll happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the rings were actually a pretty cool design / element added to the movie.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried that they'd just be like punch power emphasizers, you know,
Yeah.
which they kind of are a little bit, but they did like enough like unique like choreography for even the rings where he's like jumping on him and stuff like that, or he's
Yeah.
when he's doing like the Kamehameha at the end or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're about now and like how he can add to his like powers with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like they kind of took on a new personality when they went to him.
Yeah, I like
Right.
that.
Like when they came, yeah, 'cause they with his dad it was like, you know,
raw.
purple, electric,
Yeah.
like raw kind of just force, and then like when he was using his mom's style, it took on like a
Like a
flowy-
warmer kind of
Yeah.
Right.
tone.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
I thought on the rings, like their utility, I thought it was cool when he like punched him in the chest, and you just saw all the rings piling on his chest, you know, and punch. I thought that was a cool
Yeah.
little touch they put in there.
I don't know if you guys have seen Kung Fu Hustle, but like there's a fight scene where the guy uses like I think they're shower rings.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh,
like,
really?
I heard there was a lot of inspiration from Kung Fu Hustle.
Well,
for this
yeah,
movie.
there's a poster,
on the
in,
wall.
the,
Yeah,
in the movie
yeah.
for it. Yeah, and like I definitely found some of that throughout
Yeah.
this movie.
Some
like
of that
I was
inspiration.
like, okay, this is
Yeah,
feel
I mean
Yeah.
this.
that's where the uniqueness came in with this
Yeah.
movie is the like Asian American kind of storytelling. My favorite moment personally is like when they're doing like they're going through their motions for their training as a family, and then just cuts to them like playing Dance Dance Revolution
Yeah.
as a family. Like that seems like a unique like take on what like an experience for an MCU character is.
Right.
And I enjoyed those moments a lot. So
Yeah, I was actually surprised by the kind of like the family ties, all the
Yeah.
flashbacks that we got. Like actually did for me they did enough
I like the
Right.
to
flashback
drive
scenes.
Me
it
too.
forward. Like yeah.
Yeah, it kind of built the villain, I guess, Tony Leung's character. What's his name? Wen Wu. I kind of like how his goal wasn't just to, rule the world or destroy
Right.
the world.
Right.
It was more kind of like rooted in his love for his wife.
Yeah,
And,
and like kind of like falling back into
Yeah.
who he was without her, and like the
Exactly.
longing to get her back.
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Being manipulated too, kind of like it's not really all him.
right. Like they
Yeah.
knew his weakness was his wife.
Right.
Right.
Which is so sad.
Which gives you a little more
but-
sympathy for the character, which is,
Exactly.
I mean, I liked him all the way through.
Right. You
so-
don't want to just hate the villain for him being a villain.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely did. I agree with that. Like,
I thought Aquafina was fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think she carried like a lot of the weight of the like MCU
Yeah.
generic comedy though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I got lost. Like it's like I am like forced into like a ceiling with an MCU movie that I can like never just emotionally get past.
Yeah.
Because like they literally don't take it seriously.
Nope.
Right.
So like it's good. Like I understand it's like a kids movie and it's a family movie, but a lot of like her stuff and some of Ben Kingsley stuff just didn't fully land as like why is this in the movie? You know, is
Right.
it just to fan service you to like make you like laugh and think you enjoyed the movie more? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Kinda
There
think
was.
you- Go
No,
ahead.
I was just gonna say the little no-faced thing really just.
Right.
I didn't like. I hate when they add stupid things because they just want to make fucking plush toys out of those and make money.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Creature.
fuck you. Just
Yeah.
But anyway, that was that irritated me. Ben Kingsley, of course, he couldn't just be funny on his own. He had to have a stupid fucking sloth thing.
They don't even have to design a face for it.
Right.
Half of it.
I actually thought of you because when you said something about Groot, I was like, oh, Alex is not gonna like this guy.
Nope.
Yeah, that's part of me feels like that's literally just part of like Disney marketing being like, all right guys, we gotta get something in here to sell.
Some cuddly animal needs to show up in this movie.
Isn't that why they made those furry little teddy bears in Star Wars too? Anyways,
probably.
Because I'm pretty sure Lucas, whatever, he had like a different idea for what they're supposed to be like. Anyway,
they're like fuzzy, big-eyed penguin looking things.
Talking about the Ewoks? Or are you talking about the what are they? The
Porgs?
No. The old movies, the little Ewoks.
Oh,
they were supposed to be a little more vicious looking, and then they fucking
it's like cuddly and
because they were like, well, we gotta make plush toys for kids.
I mean, that movie, like, I remember I watched like a documentary on it or whatever, The Toys That Made Us, I think.
Yeah.
And they go into like how that movie was like made on the like kids getting toys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That totally.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I mean, you see it with Baby Yoda now too.
That's the marketing plan.
Fuck Baby Yoda and his fucking baby noises. God.
I will say the Baby Yoda baby noises are so generic that it takes me out of it.
Yeah.
It's like they just picked the first baby
noise
clip
that
they
was
found.
when Baby Yoda came in on that whatever episode. That's when I stopped watching it. I was like, I can't do this.
It's a good show still.
I should give it a chance again, but
It's fine. It definitely feels more of like the space western. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
I mean, that's the problem with MCU movies. There's like after a certain point, it's just like, it was good, like,
right?
And then you don't really have much else to say.
Disney's doing their thing,
which is sad because I mean, thinking back at all the like standalones, I mean, I like those more. Like the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans or the Christopher Nolan. I know that's DC, but his Dark Knights. Those are like unique, good movies. The Hulk with Edward Norton in it. I mean.
When they were still trying.
Right. I mean, it didn't have to have this big ass thing that brings it into the universe of we have to make this the Avengers level, I guess, the Eternals or whatever the fuck now. Yeah. With Angelina Jolie a superhero now. Come on. Please.
Yeah. I'm psyched for that movie, but I'm also worried that I'm going to feel the exact same thing I felt this movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Maybe it'll start good, and then of course they're gonna have to tie it into the universe in some fashion.
Yeah. And those guys are like gods.
Yeah, they're like gods.
So like, how do you even make a compelling villain without it being like,
I'm sucking the energy of the universe.
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Yeah. It's like so existential and large. It's like, how do you make? Are there any stakes really? Like,
And
that's where, like, I think we said it before, but like where DC kind of has an advantage. Like, because like all their movies feel pretty disconnected and different. Like,
because they fucked up early, now they're not beholden to
right,
like, they're like, oh, I guess we just make movies now, like we used to.
Right. And which is good for them. I mean,
I enjoy them more than an MCU movie usually.
Right.
Unless it's like Avengers, where it's like the culmination of stuff.
Yeah. And I remember going to the theater and watching the Avengers, but that was, I grew up with Iron Man when that came out, and I started then, and I was on board all the way up until, obviously Endgame, which I feel like that's like the big thing where everyone's like, I'm bored of it now, this is for the new generation. I'm not like that. I just don't enjoy the way they're going about the Marvel movies nowadays, which is just those cookie cutter movies, and it just, I don't know. I want originality.
Yeah. That's tough though, because like I'm still in, especially I just rewatched WandaVision. There's like little nuggets, like of just great shit in MCU, and that's what you stay for. Because WandaVision for me is my favorite show of the year, I think.
Yeah.
Besides Ted Lasso.
Right.
I was gonna say.
It's such a unique show, and it still feels Marvel, but that one especially compared to like Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I liked Loki, but I still felt a little like generic, not caring at the end of it.
Yeah.
Whereas WandaVision, I was like totally in it the whole time.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
I still haven't watched that one yet. I haven't watched any of the series, actually. I watched the first episode of Loki, but I wasn't that grabbed by it. But
it does its job, I feel like. But
I enjoyed it.
Like any other Marvel concept,
right.
it does its job
and
for the end game.
Yeah, and that's why
it's
another
I think, piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, and it's like if you keep those pieces of the puzzle like small and contained, and like kind of make them cut off, and then you find, because it's so easy now to just connect everything.
Exactly.
So like force them to be disconnected, and then bring them in and make it a shock, like make it
in the right
worthy. Like
it's like this is a far stretch of what I'm going to compare here, but like when I watch Split and you stay for the twist at the end, you know, and you see it's Bruce Willis and you're like, that's a twist, and combining his own little superhero universe, and I was like, cool. I was happy because I loved Unbreakable, and I had no idea it was going to be connected to this. Of course he fucked it up, but you know, what can you do? It's anyway, but that's what these, you know, they don't have that moment where you're like, woo, these are connected. It's just kind of like, all right, so where are they gonna shoehorn this into? Get into the big
end.
universe.
It was Bruce Banner and Captain Marvel. And
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I've never seen the
like the post-credit scenes.
I didn't stay for those.
Yeah.
Well, Hulk wasn't. What was he? Professor Hulk
I was
anymore?
like wondering, like, is he just
The
normal
heck?
now?
I did read that, you know, he didn't show up as Professor Hulk, but I didn't stay for the credits, so I didn't know like what it was talking about.
I'm wondering if they're doing some like weird. It's probably too bold for MCU to do, but like, what if they're just like gonna like 5 movies from now they're gonna be like, yes, so Shang-Chi was actually in the universe to the left, and you didn't even know the whole time. You know, like that. I think they're gonna pull some weird stuff where like some of these movies are
people don't even know what timeline they belong to. Like,
So like maybe
that could
they
get
just
messy.
were lazy. It will. That's it. Maybe they're just lazy and like, oh, we forgot that he was
Professor Hulk. Yeah.
Or it's just like, well, no, some people will see like this is not the same Hulk as the one in this universe. And
Especially when they brought Wong in. With Doctor Strange and that movie coming out with Wanda.
Yeah, the multiverse
Maybe,
of madness can all coalesce somehow.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
Doctor
wondering.
Strange with the new Spider-Man, how he's like fucking up all the timelines with him, bringing in Doc Ock and Green Goblin.
Yeah, I'm like wondering who's completely responsible, because if you watch Loki, there's like it points the finger at someone in that show that's like fucking up the universe too. So it's. Are they all just doing it at the same time? Like that's what
See, that's.
I'm just tired of guessing now.
Like how much is Marvel / Disney's plan, and how much was it? Is it just like stuff they could scrape together?
Just time travel and stuff. You can really fuck that up, and then you can get a bunch of rage monsters, you know, popping off about time travel and stuff. I mean, I think Endgame they really muddled the line between good time travel.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They kind of just like waved it away.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, people will like it because it's Endgame.
Yeah.
You know?
Now they have to do a lot of legwork to make it work.
I'm a sucker for time travel.
Exactly.
But like,
if it's
you
done
know,
right,
it never works.
Yeah, except Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, sir.
That's true.
It all checks out.
Best book and movie
So
of Harry Potter.
Yep, I agree.
It was kind of like, I know we didn't like say great things about it, but after I left this movie in the theater, I felt like really good.
Yeah.
Like I just like sometimes after movies, I just walk out being like, oh god, I just love movies, you know. And I had that feeling after this one. I was like, whenever I like enjoy an MCU movie enough, I'm like, man, they're doing something really special with this world. Yeah. And I felt that a little bit, and then on the days after, I was just like, yeah, it was a movie.
Right.
Yeah. Like I remember you mentioning if a movie does its job, you give it a 2.5, really, right?
Yeah.
And that was my thought coming out. I was like, I'll give it a 2.5 because it did its job.
That's
you
fair.
know?
Right.
So, and I enjoyed it up until the end of the second act where I was starting to drag. And because I was in my seat. Well, first off, quick complaint about people going to see movies nowadays. I don't know if the pandemic made you like not aware that you're in a movie theater, but don't bring your child to this movie and he can't read subtitles, so you're behind me reading the subtitles out loud to him. Like, come on, honestly, don't bring your kid to a movie.
Nope.
If you can't read,
I
mean, how are they supposed to know it was gonna have subtitles? But I mean, come on.
I mean, you can
think about it, right?
Yeah,
think about it.
I was gonna say.
Gosh. So anyway, now that I'm off of that, I was into it for the first half. I was leaning forward, not just to get out of the sound of the woman behind me, reading, but I was into it. The martial arts, I love that shit. But
I am excited just to have a cool, different hero.
Right.
He's definitely, I think it's one of the better ones out of phase 2 so far. And he's definitely different and one worth following in the universe, I think.
Yeah. I was weirdly emotional, the first part, because I was with my little brother, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen, this is going to sound so cheesy, but an Asian, big star, whatever, except, I guess, Parasite and Minari, but
for your little brother,
this was,
that's
Asian
probably,
American,
right.
That's probably
and they mentioned that in the movie, too.
Yeah.
He's like, you are American, Mom.
And how he's like, oh, it's Shang-Chi, and she's like, it's Shang-Chi? But like just hearing Chinese again, I was like, oh my god! I just remember my Chinese class back in way back when. But I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. And
cool. I was glad. I was like waffling between 3.5. I could see it as for me. It's like a 4, just because it does differentiate itself. I think, especially like not the third act really, but like the after credit scene with like the rings and how they're kind of like they're nudging towards the idea that like there's a different sect. You know, like these aren't magical. These aren't like anything we've seen. Like
I like the dichotomy of the MCU powers. And how they make them feel unique.
Right.
Like they are the same. They're samey, but they're like different enough that it's unique to them.
Right. And nice. Like for me, that was made the heroes and the story more compelling. Just that little touch at the end really is like true. And I still don't know if I even care about Captain Marvel. You know, who's supposed to be like the next leader. So this is where I have problems with the MCU.
Help us all.
Yeah. I liked that the movie started and ended in the bar. Where they're like telling a crazy story and they'll never believe this. And then
that was
like
fun.
Super. And then they're in the karaoke, just like
with Wong.
That stuff was fun.
That was funny.
But I ended on 3.5. Just because like I think we were talking about it a little bit ago, me and Noah, but it's just like it's hard for me to give an MCU movie a 4-star.
Yeah.
Just because it doesn't elevate itself to what it could be.
Right.
But sometimes I give them like Endgame and Infinity War. Those are like 4 or above for me because they're a culmination of the story.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it like I would like to give it a 4, and just because it is such a special story. But it's like it's just hard for me to do that. So I land on 3.5.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
that makes
just
sense.
kind of another piece
in
the Marvel puzzle, and it's like like I want it to be
more than just Marvel. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like it is Marvel, but you can tell it was Marvel.
For sure.
Right.
So
Yeah. But next MCU movie, Eternals. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's October, isn't it? Or is it?
I think November or October?
It might be November 11th, isn't it?
Eternals.
Probably.
Eternals, new Spidey multiverse, or
that's in December.
December is Spidey, I know.
Yeah.
Right, and then multiverse is next year.
Pushed back. Maybe.
Multiverse of Madness.
I think it might be like March or May.
That one actually might be pretty good. I mean, Sam Raimi's directing that one, right? So
I'm excited for that.
Which one?
I'm looking Multiverse of Madness.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
so
know
I'm
that.
actually looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, if Spider-Man's fucking around with Doctor Strange in the Spider-Man movie, like we might see more Sam Raimi villains, Spider-Man villains and stuff in that one.
See?
He just wants to work with Tobey Maguire again, dude.
And that's how you suck me in, MCU.
Yeah,
right.
Give me
always
Sam
pull you
Raimi.
back in somehow. Well, stick around for that review if you like the MCU. We'll be talking more about it. So.
Yeah, we'll probably be
even if you don't like it, stick around.
Yeah. like and subscribe. Is it?
Yeah, if you want, man.
Yeah, there you go. It's your life. You make the decision.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
But
won't force you to
please
do anything
like
but do
and
it, you know?
But you know what to do.
I won't pull that finger, but.